Hi, you're welcome to this short video on organization leadership values. No doubt about the fact that for any organization to succeed, the leadership values must be very intact. And one of the things that actually distinguishes a successful organization from unsuccessful organization has to do with its high leadership. So today we're going to talk about the values, the leadership values that you might want to put into consideration, most especially when you are in the hands of affairs within any organizations, or perhaps you're trying to start up a business of your own. You want to ensure that you put into considerations these leadership values which we're going to discuss in details briefly. And first of it has to do with creativity. No doubt about the fact that creativity plays a major role in any successful organizations. When you take a close look at organizations that have succeeded over the long period of time, and those that have actually not been able to succeed over the long period of time, the reasons behind that cannot be perfect. It's all about leadership. It's all about their ability to be able to innovate, to create something out of entirely nowhere, or perhaps to see how best they innovate their business brand and keep scaling. So one thing you want to put into consideration is creativity. If you're in the hands of affairs in any organization, you want to ask yourself, how creative are you? If you've actually not been creative enough, then you want to see how best you embed or develop your creativity skills. Or let's assume you are managing a group of people, you are kind of a manager within an organization. You want to see how best you harness your creativity, most especially within your unit, such a way that you will transform the organization or contribute positively within the organization. If, take for instance, you're managing a unit within an organization, and your creativity concept has not well been harnessed or has not been harnessed, you realize that your performance or perhaps your progress would be very different from those units with managers that are having a creative concept. They're able to come up with something unique or new ideas that will keep growing their unit and by extension their organizations. So if you actually want to thrive successfully, most especially within the leadership scope of any organizations, you want to harness your creative concept. And secondly, you want to develop equality. That is, being able to treat people equally. You want to have what I refer to as upward as well as downward loyalty. That is, you want to have both upward and downward loyalty. And what that entails is, in as much as you want to be loyal to your organizations, you want to be loyal to the board of management, you want to be loyal to the company as a whole, you as well want to be loyal to those who are your subjects or those who are reporting to you within the organization. One thing where many people often get it wrong is, perhaps when they are in leadership positions, they tend to be loyal strictly to those who are in the hands of affairs. And in one way or the other, they often deny those who are their subjects form of loyalty. And not knowing that, in one way or the other, those who are actually in the downward side are contributing majorly to the success of the organization. And when the loyalty is not won from this downward threshold or from the downward path, in one way or the other, it's going to affect the organization. So you want to ensure that at every instances, you have a multi-directional loyalty. That is, you want to be loyal to the management and as well be loyal to those who are actually your subject within the organizations. And aside that, when you talk of loyalty, this entails you being able to treat them in such a way that you ensure that you make them realize they have values within the organization. That is, they are important to the organizations. Because one thing about people is when you make people realize they are not important, in one way or the other, it's going to show up. Not only in the performance, but as well in the aggregate success or progress of the organizations. And also, you want to have this social responsibility. If you are within your organization, you are within any organizations, and you actually be recorded sources, or perhaps you find yourself in any organization management team, you want to see how best you want to contribute to your society. Because social responsibility goes a long way in contributing as well to the success of the organization. There are instances in which companies could like, oh, we need to come up with a social responsibility. How about we giving grant to one or two people? There are a whole lot of people who, in one way or the other, you could lift up and they could as well contribute within their own space at a later time. And those people who, in one way or the other, are disadvantaged and you lifted them up, they wouldn't forget in a short while. Or let's say, for instance, there are things within your community you felt you would make impact to people within your community. That is the community where the company is located. You want to see how best you contribute to such things. It could be just more of a social event. You could organize a bike, a hiking, and whatever it is, just to create an impact or contribute an impact to people within your community. And before you realize it, it's as well going to help you to know much about people you're serving, that is, those who are kind of end users of your product. Take, for instance, you're producing a certain product, and such responsibility would help you to get to know much about those people in one way or the other. That's just by the way, but no doubt about the fact that social responsibility has a major role to play when it comes to leadership responsibility. When it comes to leadership value. And it kind of gives you a whole sense of responsibility beyond the scope of your organizations. And also, quality enthusiasts. Quality enthusiasts. This has to do with you being able to develop enthusiasm for quality. That is, if it's not quality, we're not delving down that road. And before you realize it, you would at all times be able to distinguish yourself, your organizations, in a unique way within your space of industry. There are instances in which there are products, and what actually distinguishes them from other products has to do with the quality. Don't be surprised a whole lot of people would want to go for quality than to go for quantity. What's the point when I buy a product, I buy two of the product and it doesn't serve me for 1 year, and I buy one product, it serves me for 5 years. So I wouldn't mind if it entails saving up to buy that single product that will serve me for 5 years and to buy two products that will serve me for 1 or 2 years. So you want to ensure that you develop enthusiasm for quality. And before you realize it, it's going to affect the progress of your organizations and the success of your organizations. Also, you want to be dependable. Dependability is very, very crucial, most especially when it comes to leadership values. You want to ensure that you are dependable. Because when you are not dependable, it kind of diminishes your responsibility or your value within such leadership space. What does dependability mean? The organizations need to depend on you, that look, they are counting on you to ensure that the organization doesn't fail, to ensure that the organization doesn't collapse, that the organization would always thrive over the long period of time. And in the next 5, 10 years, the organization would always keep succeeding, would always keep making progress. So you want to do everything within the space, your own unique space, to ensure that you always put this at the forefront. That is, you want to ensure that you are dependable. Those at the management look up to you as someone who is dependable. Those who are in the downward threshold, your subjects, they are looking up to you as someone they could always depend on. So before you realize it, you would actually be making progress and be thriving within the space of your organization leadership, because you've actually been able to integrate the core values, which are essential for the success of your organizations within your organizational leadership scope. So I hope you enjoyed this short video, and I look forward to sharing some other interesting video at some other time. In the interim, you could always check our website, where we'll have interesting articles as well as videos, and by extension courses that would in one way or the other keep fostering progressions, either within the areas of personal development or perhaps within the areas of business scaling. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in some other videos of ours.